Bernstein. I am a therapist and an educator, and I do a lot of counseling with people who have been involved in cults and also people who have been involved in relationships with narcissists. I also do a lot of general counseling, but this is one of my areas of specialization. So I wanted to be able to talk to you today about something that I've done a lot of work with. And I know there have been a lot of videos and a lot of things out there about narcissism. This is what I've learned. I have learned that being with a narcissist is very much like being in a one-on-one cult. And it's a phrase people in this field talk about, kind of a one-on-one cult. A lot of people will come to me and say, I feel like I was in a cult, but it was just with my spouse, it was just with my partner, it was just with my boss. And it took over my life and it took over my head, and I want to know what happened. So one of the things that you want to be able to look for is if you're in a relationship with someone and you realize you can't say no, you can't even say maybe. If they ask you to do something for them, if they ask you to do a favor for them, if they tell you to do something, if they tell you that you have to agree with them, if you say no, if you say maybe, even if you say you're not sure, or maybe I'll take care of it later, or even if you're asking for their help, they won't be able to tolerate it. Your role is to take care of their needs, their emotional needs, and whatever other needs they feel they need attending to, and they do not like to wait. And if they do, they'll usually punish you for it. Next time you ask for help, they will be sure to say no, because they're going to experience this as an emotional injury, so they're going to need to get you back. The other part is that you can't get positive attention from them. If you are with someone who never pays you compliments, but you need to pay them compliments, you need to watch out. Also, if you're in a group of people and the people there are paying you compliments, and it really bothers the person that you're with, they're not happy for you. They actually see that you've taken some of the limelight away from them. They're gonna punish you for that, emotionally, physically, or they're gonna shame you in front of the people who are complimenting you. Like, I see you like to be complimented, or maybe you need that. They'll usually project onto you what is true about them. And so usually the things that you are given as insults about you, make a list of those, because those are usually the characteristics of the person you're with. The other part is, if you're with someone who's extremely different behind closed doors than they are in public, then you're probably with someone who is narcissistic. They can be very charming, very charismatic in front of people, and behind closed doors, in front of you, they can be very cruel and punishing and shaming and angry. The next part is that they know that information is power. So they want access to your information. So they are going to demand access to your emails, to your phone records, to your banking records, to your texts. They're going to track you. They're going to need to know where you are at all times and who you're with. But they don't want to tell you where they are. They won't feel like they have to. And if you ask, they're going to be angry. So they will have a lot of information about you. You will have none about them. You're also not even supposed to ask if they don't come home that night where they were. They'll get very insulted and then turn it back around on you. And you'll be sorry that you said something. They also never take responsibility and apologize. So even if they do something cruel to you, it's somehow your fault. You did something to them in the past. You made them angry. You made them feel like they had to yell at you to get a point across. Whatever it is, it's on you. Just know that with a narcissist, it's always your fault. They will also not care about hurting you. And what I mean by that is, in the moment they feel kind of self-righteous. They feel like you deserved it, or they were just letting off steam. And so they are going to be making you miserable. A lot of people who are with narcissists are very empathic. Empathic people remember. They remember the people who hurt them. They remember the insults they heard. They remember it all. And the narcissist won't. And if you want to be able to bring it up to them, they don't want to hear it. They have no interest. So they will tell you that if you bring it up with them, you're showing that you are ungrateful. You're showing that somehow you're a whiner. You're a complainer. And this just adds to it. If you show that you're hurt by speaking to them about what they did, you're going to be seen as the abusive one. You're going to be told that you are abusing them. In fact, one of the signs of finding out if you're with a narcissist who has specific narcissistic traits is you can make a list of the things that they've suddenly accused you of that you don't think fit you and you've never been accused of before. Those are going to be a list of things that actually apply to the narcissist. So you're going to get a good diagnosis by what they tell you is wrong with you. They project it onto you. So if you say something, you're going to be abusing them. If you don't say something because you realize saying something gets you insulted and diagnosed, they will then call your silence, usually, your attempt at being passive aggressive. So you're abusive if you say something. You're passive aggressive if you don't say something. And sometimes people are left without any choice then, and then they just have emotions. Then they just cry. And then, usually to a narcissist, people's tears are considered manipulations. So if you're told that your tears are manipulations, and you know they're not, you know that you really are left feeling kind of imprisoned and backed into a corner, you also know that any kind of contact you've had with the narcissistic partner where you feel like you need to bring up something they're not going to want to hear, or you need to tell them how they affected you, you've rehearsed that conversation in your mind so many times, and you've tried to make sure that it's really good and careful and sensitive, and still it's going to be seen as abusive. It's going to be seen as a manipulation because they don't want to hear it. Lastly, you are going to be with somebody, if the person's a narcissist, who you make a ton of sacrifices for. You've sacrificed relationships, you've sacrificed your confidence, you've sacrificed usually your own goals, because your value to a narcissist is how much you serve their goals, not pursue your own. But when they're done with you, they're done with you. And they will leave you or push you out and not care and not look back. So it's best that at the very beginning, if you see signs that you're with someone who has narcissistic qualities, don't go on a second date. Even if they try to charm you or kind of make you feel like they could be with anyone, but they're choosing to be with you. Don't do it. Listen to your voice. Notice the signs. Stay safe out there. Take care.